recording.
We'll be live in a moment.
Boom, streaming. Yeah.
Well, it takes a moment for it to catch up.
Yeah. They've caught me at twitch.tv/Twitch.
All right. Broadcasting. All right, so now we're live. You can see us over here. See, it takes a moment to catch up.
Do you know how many people? No, not yet. Nope, 0 viewers currently. Stream start. Hopefully that could be someone's white noise. They just like buffer me out.
Echo.
Technical difficulties, people.
These aren't technical difficulties.
Not really.
These
but
are
like,
just
it's
just
like
production
mild.
slows down.
Yeah,
slowdowns.
Yeah,
All
whatever
right.
he said.
We're live building oyster robots. Chat with us live. Chat with us live. All right.
Except if
go
you're
live.
Aiden. Don't chat if you're Aiden.
Okay. All right. We're live. Let's check. I haven't actually done this before on. What, the event hasn't started yet.
Ooh. Oh, you stream on Vimeo?
That's a recent.
Oh, okay.
You have chosen not to show so other people cannot see this page. What? That doesn't sound accurate. Let me check.
Is this a technical difficulty?
This is a technical difficulty.
Okay, yeah. Now we are experiencing
Okay, I'm gonna let
technical
anyone.
difficulty because this guy, for some reason, streams on Vimeo.
Well, I want teachers to watch it.
Oh, you want
and
teachers?
Twitch is blocked by our school system.
That's. I guess it makes sense. Yeah.
Okay. I don't see the chat.
Nope.
Do you see a chat?
I don't know. I didn't check it on the.
Well, I'm seeing a chat button on. I know there's a chat on Twitch, obviously. Let's make sure we're on Twitter too, because we need all of our various channels. All right, we're on Twitter. We're on.
Oh, there you go. Yes, here we are. Oh, one viewer. Oh no, that's me. Watch.
That's you.
That's me.
All right, maybe you can't. Sorry, guys. Maybe we can't chat on Vimeo. We're gonna just move past the technical difficulties.
This isn't gonna work.
All right. So today, let me pull this down. Now you can see how the.
Oh, fun.
That screen is us right there, so you know. The other one is a preview of what's to come. Hi, welcome to Sunset Spark Live. So today we're here with Arturo.
Yeah.
He's a student at
Millennium Brooklyn, yeah.
Millennium Brooklyn High School. Your school retweeted one of my tweets today when I said we're
really?
gonna have a student from here.
Oh, cool.
This counts you double. This counts double for your volunteer
Double,
hours.
yeah. Mrs. Barclay, you know. I don't want to have to do another 5 hours.
So I met Arturo in 8th grade, right?
Yeah.
In an after-school program at Center for Family Life.
I was run by that, yeah.
And I recruited you for our boat building program that we do with the Harbor School, where we build boats here in Sunset Park. I actually got word that I have officially shamed the Parks Department into giving us the container that we've been trying to get for a year, so we can have a boathouse now at the water.
Oh, hell yeah.
I put a whole shame presentation together. You should put that in your pocket.
Yes.
I put a whole presentation together, community board. This is my 3rd time being a community board about this subject presenting, and we shamed them, and I got the borough commissioner to approve it, and we're gonna meet, I think, in like a week or two to sign the proposal, sign the agreement, and then we're gonna have a container there so we can bring our boats out.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Anyway, this park that we're talking about has an oyster reef there put in by Billion Oyster Project, and so we have some oysters today with us. This is an oyster. This is a clam. I think it's a clam. It could be a scallop. I'm not a professional, but I think because I want to know something gross, people have eaten out of all of these. That's why we're
Oh
holding
yeah,
them.
yeah. That's
So, Billion Oyster Project has a program where you can, where they work with different oyster places, oyster restaurants, seafood restaurants in the city, and they get all of their old shells and they bring them to Governor's Island, where they like bleach them in the sun, I think, clean them out in the sun, and then they take these and they put a bunch of spats on them, little baby oyster things. They're called spats, I think. And then they put them in the water where they grow. And so we got these fresh. They're not really fresh, but
they're
we got
pretty
them today.
stale right now.
They're fresh in that we got them today from their pile.
Okay.
Yadira went to the island today.
The oyster pile.
She went on a boat, went over
boat.
there. She saw Rob.
Rob, oh yeah.
She saw Rob's office. She said he had a pretty cool office.
This office is pretty scuffed, honestly. I like it.
Well, we
though.
just got the floors redone.
Yeah, it's better. It's better.
We haven't quite cleaned it up since we got the floors redone. In the background, you can see a high chair. We have a baby that comes here. It's not really a baby anymore.
Like a toddler.
Yeah, she's a toddler. And so today we're going to do an oyster-themed robot. I already have the design, so we're not building it from
Scrap.
We're not improvising a
Yeah.
build today. We're going to build with a robot that we already have, and we're going to try to make it better. So this problem with this robot is that it's a. It was based off of an oyster. It was based off of a vacuum cleaner. It was based off of an oyster. Oysters don't really do much. They just sit there. They just attach themselves to some sort of.
But wait, but scallops, right? Scallops?
Yes, I showed you a video of scallops.
Yeah, scallops,
before.
however, they're amazing. They're really cool.
Scallops are like clowns of the ocean. They just shoot their water around. They really look like something we should be trying to eradicate because they are creepy and funny at the same time. Now these, like I said, I don't know if this is a scallop or a clam, but I don't know what clams do. And my minute of research before we
sit there, right? They sit there like filter feed.
I think scallops run on top of the water, run on top of the sand in the water, and clams I think dig themselves underneath the sand. So I don't think clams move as much either. I think they like wiggle and they dig themselves underneath.
The clams are lame then.
Yeah,
They're pretty lame.
Actually these are all really cool because they filter the water and they clean
Yeah,
our
yeah, okay,
ocean.
yeah.
They clean our ocean. They clean our gross water here, and that's part of why Billion Oyster Project is planting them, these reefs, so that we can have cleaner water, which it's great for the environment, brings more sea life there, among other things. Maybe one day we'll have someone from BOP or the Harbor School here to explain that more.
Maybe one day the lakes will have sharks in them, because the ecosystem is
so good that there'll be sharks.
Yeah. Like it's so sustainable there.
And we'll have sharks in the water. Hopefully not where we go rowing.
Hopefully.
It's great that we have this container that's going to be put there at the park, and then we're going to be able to put our boats there, and then we might even build the boats out of the park this year in the container.
See, even you could harass the government.
Yes.
Right?
If I've learned anything, you just have to collect, 1,000 or so petition signatures, present to community board a few times, get in-person agreements, but nothing nothing in written, and then do that for like a year and a half, and eventually you'll get someone to agree.
One of my friends, they did a bit where they had like a petition to kill all of the pigeons here, like just obliterate them, like eviscerate them, right?
Oh, I think William is in our chat.
Yeah, looking cool.
Is that William?
Yeah, William.
Cool, William. You should follow us.
Yeah, give me clout.
You were saying something about destroying all the pigeons.
Yeah. So he went around like our lunch, like our cafeteria, making people sign petitions for them, like put their signature on the petition.
Did you sign?
I did. I hate pigeons.
Who was he presenting it to?
Everyone. Yeah, he just went to my table and I was like, sign this.
That's how we got most of our petitions. We had one of my favorite students, Dana, took our petition around her middle school and got people to sign.
Wait, why are the signatures of people? Wait, does it have to be an adult? Like, can anyone sign that?
No, most of our signatures were from kids.
That doesn't make any sense.
Why?
Kids shouldn't have any power.
Kids shouldn't have any power? No, old people shouldn't have power, I think.
That's what you think.
I think kids should get 2 votes. One for fun and one for serious.
One-
One joke vote and one serious
But I
vote.
feel like it'd be so easy to manipulate kids though. Like if they had like an extra vote, like I feel like people would just like bribe them with like free toys and shit.
We
Wait,
should
is
not
this
be cursing.
Oh,
We should
this is
not
a
be cursing.
PG stream.
This is-
Yes, PG.
I don't have the bleep button. Bleep,
Oh.
bleep.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's okay. You just lost 10 minutes
Damn.
of, now 20 minutes of your volunteer time. I'm going to put this in the official record to your guidance counselor.
Hey, Chris.
All right, so I already got the pieces. So the idea is we're going to build this robot, and then we're going to figure out a way to glue these shells to a Lego so that we can make it look more like an oyster. You'll see the problem when this is built.
Maybe there's more than one problem here, because like you're still terrible at naming things. Like oyster is like the most bland name.
All right, there's your parts.
Yeah. Now what do I do with this? I'm pretty sure like these are like little finger things that.
All right. You can
Okay,
start looking at the
yeah,
instructions. I'm going to line up all my pieces so everyone can see. Don't pay attention to Arturo's stuff.
Yeah. Mine is really. I haven't done this.
So you need 4 of the longest angle beams, 2 of the boomerang looking ones. You need 2 9-hole straight beams. You need 2 wheels with the tires. 2 wheels without tires. 2 length 5 axles. Let me organize this a bit. Right. I need these red things, right angle pieces, whatever they're called. We need, is that right? We need 5 of those? No, I had an extra one. We need 4 beige axle peg connectors.
What's the difference in color?
That is a great question. And 2 blue ones.
Is it because you like segregating things based on the color of the
No, they
plastic
do
and
different
not,
things.
Not the content of the character.
Well, the beige and the blue ones. The beige ones are kind of important today because they are frictionless, which means they can spin. Do you see how this one spins? And so blue.
They seal it up.
Blue has a little indentation on it so it doesn't spin.
Oh, okay.
It'll move if you push it, but it doesn't spin. So the same thing with the black and the gray pieces.
Okay, now I see. Okay.
The gray pieces are similar. And so that's general for all the pegs. And then there's also red ones. There's red pegs that have the same issue, where red pegs are have friction in them. Okay, so these are the parts. We're going to take 2 of the beige pieces, and we're going to, this is a hard step, we're going to line up the wheels on top of each other, the one with the tire, one without, and then we're going to put the peg side of a beige peg through it. Now what's weird about this is you kind of want to make sure you line it up properly. If you can see, there's a longer hole, like basically the crosses in the center have to line up for this to work in a future step. So just make sure you do that. It doesn't matter what hole you plug it into, as long as you do the circle side, not the axle side. And then we're going to have 2 parts like that. Keep mine on camera. All right. Next, we're going to take our motor. We've got the motor portion of this, and we're going to put the axle through the motor, so it's sticking out, and then we're going to put the axle on both sides of this. We want to make sure that the peg is on the same part of each side, and you want to squeeze it so that there's all the, did I not do this right? No, I did it right. You want to make sure that the axle, or not the axle, the beige pegs are in the same part on each wheel so that they're even. Okay, set that aside for now. All right, next step. We're going to need 2 of the angled beams, 2 of the blue pieces, 2 of the blue pegs, 2 of these reds, and 2 of the black pegs. So we're going to take those and we're going to put the blue pegs in here, like that. Black pegs in here, like that. Yadira said she was going to watch this at home. I don't know. It says we have 2 viewers, but she's not chatting with me.
Isn't that William?
That's William who's chatting.
I always see like one person like extra. Just like
Oh, I didn't put. Crap. I forgot the little window where it shows us. Sorry about that, guys. That must have been really boring for the last 5 minutes, unlike the first 5 minutes, which was probably super exciting. All right, so we got this going on. Next up, we'll put that aside for a little bit. We're going to take the 2 9-holes, right? It's supposed to be 9? Yeah, 2 9-holes, and we're going to take 2 back pegs for each side. We're going to put them in the 3rd and the 5th hole. We want them separated by 1 hole at the end. So 3rd and 5th.
I think something fell down. There we go. Weird. Oh, my mic fell.
I told you to put it in your
I
pocket.
did put it in my pocket. Just not the pants pocket.
All right. So you want it in the 3rd and the 5th hole, like that. It's not really in focus anyway. Oh, I forgot a step back here. That's why these were all together before. And then we're going to take these red things and put them on top of the blues. These are like it's supposed to represent the outside of an oyster shell. So it's supposed to like try to give it some definition. When I was designing this originally, it's just supposed to like give the definition of the outside of a shell.
He's very abstract.
I'm abstract. I'm like the art class you're taking right now. Abstraction is one of the core focus areas of computer science. So you do have to think abstractly when you're doing computer science, like robotics and programming. So I do have to think abstractly. I've been trained for, let's say 20 years, probably 20 years. I've been doing computer science as a class since high school. So like 20 years, I've been trained to think abstractly. All right, we're going to put those aside now. Now we're going to get these 2 boomerang pieces, 2 beiges. Did you fall behind?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I can.
Here, you can look at mine.
Yeah.
We're going to take 2 boomerangs, 2 beiges, and we're going to put them right in at the end. These are going to be part of the crank for our robot that makes it go up and down. So our robot's going to go as it drives, kind of like a moving hungry, hungry hippo. In fact, I bet if I renamed it like hungry, hungry oyster or something like that, hungry. If I dropped the oyster and just called it a scallop, it would probably work a lot better as a concept. But I really want a connection with oysters. I'm really forcing it.
Yeah.
So maybe we should just drop it and go scallop on that. Next, we're going to take that and these and our remaining part, basically all of our remaining parts. We're going to put this through the front hole.
Okay.
Put the 2 bushings to keep the axle in. You're putting it on the wrong side.
Am I?
He was putting it on this side, just for the
Okay,
record.
okay. Okay, thanks for calling me out.
I'm putting you on blast.
Okay.
Do you do robotics at high
Yeah.
school?
Oh.
It's still on the wrong side. There we go. Do you do robotic? What tech classes do you have at school?
Oh, I was in computer science, but then I was like, but then I quit.
What are you doing? You quit?
Yeah, because I figured it was like the most boring thing I've ever done. It's like I didn't even do anything.
What were you doing?
I was just sitting there like.
You know, you're the second high school student I've had who's like, I'm in computer science. Last week, Alexis said she was taking computer science, and she said she was learning Python. I've taught you Python.
Yeah, you have. That was like Turtle.
Yeah, there's Python.
It
it's
is
still Python.
Quotation marks right here.
What? It's still Python just because you're using
Python.
turtles. You're just
It's
using the
turtle.
turtle. You're just using the turtles library. But my student last
Oh
week.
yeah, my thing didn't have the bearings there.
The what?
The bearings, like little things.
Bushings.
Bushings.
You don't have bushings. You have some right here. The bushings are these things. Bushing is a real term. It's not just a Lego term. Sometimes Lego makes things up. This is not. William says he'll chat with us. William, do you take computer science in
does.
Virginia?
I'm pretty sure he does, I think.
Has the CS for All movement made its way to Virginia?
Down south.
Down south.
Can I have one of these? Another one.
I'm going to wait for our tour to catch up.
Yeah.
Anyway, my student on Friday was saying she wasn't saying it was boring, but she was like, I don't really get the point of computer science. Like, we're just learning that like there's integers and there's like ones that can be true and false. And I think that that's a common mistake teachers do. They're like, we're going to teach you data types first. And like that's like the most boring way to learn computer science.
It's like, so I figured that, so the thing is like with my high school, it costs money. I mean, not necessarily, like I think I could like get out of it by complaining hard enough. But I think that, I don't know, that and the fact that I was like, what, it's just, I feel like I could just do this by myself because they weren't even really teaching me. They just kind of sat me down with an application that was supposed to teach me how to do Python. They didn't even teach me. They didn't even
That's what your school did?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm going to report that to,
Oh yeah, I probably shouldn't have said this, yeah.
I know the people who are responsible for
Probably,
high school
probably
computer
because I
science
was
class.
beginning, or I don't know. But that's just
Actually, I didn't teach you, I did Python turtles with you, but that was the easy, oh, you're
That
trying
was
to figure
the
out what to
easy
do
one.
next. Oh, no, you don't. You're supposed to use the other pieces.
other pieces right here.
And you stole mine. Oh, no, maybe I, anyway. What's next? Oh, he can't take computer science yet, but he can take Introduction to Engineering and Design. That sounds more fun than computer
It
science.
probably is. Yeah, the thing
Introduction
is-
to
the thing
Engineering
that-
Design,
the
you
thing-
probably get to build
the thing
things.
about doing engineering that I learned is that I have to do a lot of math sometimes,
Yeah.
and I don't like.
Okay, so we're going to
Do you
take,
do math, Mister?
yes, math. I mean, remember, Python turtles is all math too. Like most,
Yeah, it's
most
just-
interesting thing in computer science involves math, whether it's like graphing on some like 2D plane. Okay, so we're going to take the two boomerang pieces and we're going to plug them into the side of the wheel and the corner of the other angle piece. It should fit in like perfectly. Anyway, I actually taught you Lua, which is from Pico 8. We started doing that, but then we got too many newcomers. And so every week we had too many new kids, and so I had to go easy on you. And so I started using the stuff that I teach my 5th graders.
Yeah, thanks for that.
In the beginning, when it was just 4 students after school, we could do something harder. But when it was like 10 students who were different every
Oh,
week.
so they screwed me over.
You guys,
Yeah, I got robbed of my.
and it turns out you guys just want to do robotics anyway, not programming. But someone
could
put
do
in,
anything,
someone put in some,
honestly. I could do
someone
both.
said to someone else at CFL that they thought the robotics, that they wanted to do more programming. And so I got rid of the robotics and we did more programming.
Yeah,
It turns out
honestly, that's a big thing.
everyone wanted to do robotics, and
It was pretty fun, honestly. But like, I think both of them were pretty enjoyable.
all right, now we're gonna flip
Probably
this
because I
over.
could just like complain.
Oh, you got to put these in.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna take these straight pieces straight beams, and we're just gonna plug them in
A bit. Wait.
along the side like
There we go.
that.
This right here.
And then we're going to flip it back over, and we're going to take these final outside ones and do that. So it kind of looks like a monster, and when it rolls, it goes up and down.
So right here, right?
And
Wait, so where? Wait.
you're going to plug those in first.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
All right, so like I said, robot was based off of a vacuum cleaner that was based off of an oyster. And so it used the same idea of the way the hairs of a oyster filter water. It was using something similar for the vacuum. And so it used a similar design. I want to say it was called the oyster. So we built a robot based off of that vacuum that was based off of an oyster. But I want to try to bring it back to oyster because when we do this in class, kids don't really see it. It's kind of a cool robot, the way it moves, and kind of like I said, it kind of moves like a hungry, hungry hippo. Can you pass me the controller?
Mine. Yeah?
Yeah, let's see how you screwed yours up.
I think it's
Oh, this is what I told you. They have to be
aligned.
They have to be aligned. So
Yeah,
you have to make sure that they're in the same spot.
same hole. Yeah.
I'm just going to run this on motor control. If you can build it over here so you can show people on camera how.
This part. You layer them.
It wasn't really the newcomers who ruined the class, though.
It was me.
No, I want to say it was another student. It wasn't you and it wasn't William.
It was Aiden. It was Aiden.
who made some complaints saying that they wanted to do more programming. And so
It's totally Aiden.
So I made the decision to just use what I was using with the 5th graders so that we do more programming because it was already more advanced than what you guys were used to.
This part is sticking out, right? Or was it the other?
Yeah, that part's no.
No, the other way.
Yeah, it should be. Let me take a look. You want to put it right. I think here.
I'm gonna try playing Dungeons and Dragons one day. Well, it'd probably be fun. Have you ever played Dungeons and Dragons?
Yes, I played it at my job.
Was it the one where like the big company bought your thing?
No.
And then made you really bitter about the whole thing?
Oh, actually, it was that company. Yes, yes, it was. That was.
That's what made you like so like.
That was the company that broke me. It wasn't the first company to break me. All right, so mine moves like this. Here, let's get the wire and let's test yours out.
This baby. Hey, Aiden, if you're watching this.
He said, "Thanks, Aiden." Aiden's not watching.
Oh, okay.
As far as we know.
I'm gonna show them. I'm gonna show them the VOD of this.
All right.
It looks very gross. It looks like a face hugger from like the movie Alien.
Oh, the robot?
Yeah. It moves.
Why
like
doesn't
one.
yours move right? Oh, yours is.
Mine is all.
So it turns out, if you're following along, you want to put these red pieces.
To the bottom.
You want to face them the other way.
Facing the other way.
You just put yours on backwards.
Wrong.
It's fine.
There's only happy accidents.
So these robots, by the way, that we build here are all designed to be built by like 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders typically.
So the fact that I messed this
No,
up.
I'm just saying that they're so simple. No, I'm not. That's not the point. It's that they're supposed to be simple enough that we can build them in one class. So that we can have a lesson about oysters and scallops and clams. Talk about the vacuum cleaner and then build the robot all in one like 55-minute class. So that's why they're so simple. So now we have to figure out.
Okay, let me explain it to you. All right, so Galen forgot the hot glue. So he wants to like do something to like attach to make the thing look more scallop-like.
Yadiro's like, why don't we just use rubber bands? No, I want it to look more oyster-like.
Yeah, it has to. Maybe like this makes it look kind of like a crab.
The question is there a piece we can glue to the front here?
That won't stop the movement.
That won't stop. So really, what it needs to be is probably something. I have a ton of these pieces, so I was hoping that this would be a good piece. So like, if we were to glue like this piece right there.
Yeah.
Glue that. No, maybe glue it like this. And then it sits like somewhere along here so it can still sit. Should we try it with the super glue? I know that you said we were really playing with fire by pulling out super glue. Crazy glue. You'd be crazy to use it on a live stream. Do you think we should try it?
Yeah, we're living like.
We also have epoxy, which is even, I think, more reckless to use.
I think we should stick with super glue. If it doesn't stick, then we'll do epoxy. But like Super glue.
Let me check. Here, you run the show. I'm going to see what other kind of glue I have.
Hey guys. Wait.
Since we have wireless mics, so you can still hear me in the back pretty clearly. Let's see. Talk about what you don't like about school. What are some school improvements you would make? Wait, to keep this on point.
MS 136. MS 136. I repeat. Charles O. Dewey. That's school.
Don't put them on blast. That's not fair. They have a new principal. There's a lot of new momentum.
How it is now. Like in 2019, the years that I was there, it was terrible. I mean, not terrible, but like there was definitely a lot of problems there. Like overall, there was like a just
I mean, that's the story for every school,
I
though.
mean, look. So I was so in 8th grade we have these things called talent classes that we take every.
Oh,
every
yes,
couple
this
weeks.
was underfunded.
Oh yeah. You probably have something to talk about this too, right? So I applied for computer science to take that class, right, for 8th grade, and I probably could be way more competent at a grade to do that, right? But that Aiden was actually supposed to be the teacher there, right? But for some reason he decided to have a kid.
The kid was the excuse I gave the school, I think. That's not really the real reason.
Yeah, and they didn't pay him enough. I think if they paid him enough, I think he would have left his child and taught me.
So the issue was overpay. They wanted to pay, I think, $8,000 to teach a class that was 4 days a week for an entire year.
Yeah.
Which is not a lot of money for a lot of work. And I have wood glue. Nothing that we're using is wood.
Well, is there a reason why does wood have a specific property that like lets some type of glue? Like why is wood glue?
It's porous. It's a living thing.
Oh yeah.
I guess this is a living thing. Maybe this is porous too. Anyway, the school wanted to pay. They couldn't afford me, and I couldn't afford to do it. And so I was working so we had a partnership with the after-school program.
PG-13.
To do a 1 day a week version of it, of computer science and coding, and that's how I met you. And it turns out the first 3 kids that were in that class were all like, yeah, we were signed up for this programming. We were going to do Python programming talent class all year long, but they changed it at the beginning of the year. Now I think they put you guys in gym.
Yeah, they put me in gym.
You know, the first year I taught it, that was like 3 years previous, they took all the kids that were in gym and put them into my coding class, and none of them wanted to be there.
Well, now they can code, okay? Now they
Yes.
have something.
Yeah.
Now they have like a career option.
And
Send this to Aiden, just so he can. I'll give him like a timestamp.
all right, so my idea, I couldn't find hot glue. I don't know what happened to our hot glue gun. We're gonna try crazy glue with this. We're gonna glue it over a bowl so that I don't drip it on my mat. And let's see if I glue a piece to my finger. That would be one of those like live stream fails, wouldn't it?
It would.
I don't think this is gonna.
Do you want me to hold it down? It dries pretty quickly.
It's supposed to dry quick. Did you just blow on it? Was that what you were doing?
Yeah.
I don't really have the right super glue. I really need super glue that's more of a gel.
Yeah, it's too liquidy. Doesn't hold it down.
Yeah. All right.
Try wood glue.
Try the wood glue.
Yeah. And then if it doesn't, we're doing epoxy.
What? The wood glue is going to take a long time to dry, so that's.
Okay.
The epoxy will take like 5 minutes to dry. But let me go look into this epoxy situation. We used epoxy in the boat building program. And what do you know about epoxy?
You
Yeah.
We had to mix epoxy with the sawdust to make what the sawdust and
Well, that was just to give it more of a. That was like to help fill in the cracks. I think that was like a filler for it.
yeah. So that's my experience with epoxy. You got an army once.
I got it on you.
No, I was painting. No, I mean I was filling in the cracks, and I was like mixing my thing, and like some spilled on the sled.
Yeah. Well, one of the other days, some kids like the epoxy like exploded because they were fooling around. Oh man, that was not a good day. Because they got it in their hair. They got epoxy in their hair, and then we had to dump vinegar in their hair. All right. I don't have gloves. I have a partial container of epoxy. All right, I'm going to go do this off camera a little bit. Well, I just don't want it to explode on the computer. Like if I rip it open and like shoots out, I don't want to get it on the computer. So give me a moment.
Oh, by the way, so when I was coming in, he left his door unlocked. I mean, I know he was like a room away.
We have an open door policy at Sunset Spark. Is Canada known for leaving their door open?
There's this dude, right, who said like, well, they're just gonna keep the doors open, unlocked, right? That's like, it's like that version of Canada.
When
So people are broken in and took take like
no one was going to break in. You need a security card to get into the building.
Yeah, right. I got in here just like some dude opened that door. I feel like if like I look non-threatening, so I feel like anyone
All right.
who's like.
So this is epoxy. It's two chemicals that mix together and create a reaction.
Oh, it kind of looks like the have you seen?
So
like,
this
the
mixes.
inside of
This is different from the one you use because it mixes it for us in the tube.
Have you ever seen like the bombardier beetle? Have you heard of it? It's like a beetle who has like different compartments in its thing, in its like abdomen that like when they mix, they like cause like a chemical reaction and like explodes and like sends a bunch of like hot acid.
What?
Yeah, it's like a chemistry. It has like two different chambers containing it. Like a muscle reaction like forces them outside and then like sprays hot acid. It's really cool.
Okay. This is hard to hold steady, guys. Okay, I'm just going to hold it there for a moment. All right. While we're literally waiting for glue to dry. This is a super exciting broadcast, guys.
Wait, yeah, I need to show you. This is actually really cool.
I'm not sure if this is the 1 minute or the 5 minute epoxy.
Hopefully it's 1 minute.
I don't think it's one.
Look at this. It's like an abdomen, and I use like.
And it
Yeah, it's like.
it uses its legs to like get it all going, and it's like, all right, time to shoot.
I think it's just like fiddling around. It's like it's stressed.
Oh, I thought it was like
Got wax.
I thought that was like it's mixing it up. It's like that's like its blender, and it's like I'm gonna do this. What's the bug called?
A bombardier beetle.
Cool.
Yeah, it's really cool.
All right.
Nature is amazing.
So it turns out hot glue is probably the best approach for this.
Yeah, if only someone had brought some. How does soldering work? I have a question. That's my question. Like soldering, is it like put on like hot metal, and then it just like.
Well, there's solder. Solder is made of a metal that melts at a certain temperature, but it also cools very quickly. So you can heat it up and it melts, and when you pull the soldering iron away, it cools off and it forms a bond. It's kind of like welding on a very tiny scale.
And it's like conductive, right? So like electricity can pass through.
Yeah, so you would use it to like build circuit boards and stuff. All right, this isn't going well. I'm gonna move this whole mess somewhere else.
Maybe you could build like a platform on it so that it's like
mean, I'm.
As long as it's not messing with it, it's fine, right?
All right, let's go with the rubber band approach.
Well, what's that?
Well, we're going to use rubber bands and see if it at least looks okay. Because if it doesn't even look good with rubber, if it doesn't look good with gel on, maybe.
Or are you gonna like stick it to the? I don't know. I don't know how I can imagine how that works.
Let me grab some rubber bands. I mean, it's not going to look great if that's what you're wondering. It's going to look like a rubber band holding Legos together. We could use tape. Should we try tape? That'll at least hide it from the top.
I guess. It's like, whatever looks better.
I still want to use the solder. I still want to use a hot glue gun. But let's try with tape.
Oh, for one of my art project, I mean, for the art project that I'm working on right now, I use tape to like make, you know how like spray paint artists, you know, they have like, they put something on it and like.
Spray paint artist, is that an official term?
Yeah, that thing, whatever that thing is.
Graffiti?
Yeah. No, it's like a technique, right? Where like they put like a piece of paper over the part that they don't want to get paint on, and they paint over it. You know what?
Stencils.
Stencils, yeah, those. It's basically I did that, and I just like made a really heavy layer of paint with it.
Okay.
I'm sure I still have a picture of that.
All right. I got to tell you,
Yeah, like that.
And so you're making stencils?
I made a stencil using tape.
Stencils are pretty cool. I have a machine here that you can draw a stencil on the computer and it'll cut it out so you can make like very.
I'm pretty sure I've seen that.
I think I've used it with you here.
Yeah, you made like a tree thing? Like, I don't know, something. Look at my art.
It's not going to be in focus. You have to, if you wanted them to see your, oh, let me switch. Let me switch for you. That's your art.
It's blue. The lines aren't red, they're blue. There you go. And my fingers were like super heavy painted.
The woman across the hall here, she uses stencils a lot in her work.
Oh, is she an artist?
Yeah. A lot of the people here are artists.
Are you an artist?
I would consider myself an artist.
In the loosest term, loosest possible.
Well,
No, actually,
there's looser terms, I would say. All right, let's see if this actually holds. I make things.
You make things, yeah.
So I loosely taped it on. It's going to fall off if I move it, but let's if I flip it over. But let's see if it can at least hold together. Can they see it on the table there? There we go.
Yeah.
Let's see if it actually moves.
That works.
Does that look better?
It looks a lot better actually.
Now imagine if that were epoxy, or imagine if that were hot glued on here. Now doesn't it look like an oyster moving?
It looks a lot. It looks so weird still, but you know, yeah, I see it now.
All right,
Makes sense.
Let's look at it from the other side.
Oh.
Don't curse.
I didn't.
Your mom's gonna see this.
I did give her the link to it.
You did give her the link. All right, so that looks kind of cool. It does kind of look more like a monster. This is not pure Legos, but.
Good enough.
All right, should we do one with the scallop? Do you want to tape yours with the scallop?
Yeah.
William says it's all right.
It's all right. Okay, well, then maybe if you were here, okay?
High praise.
Actually, yeah, it's pretty high praise from him.
All right, that's right. He was pretty understated. All right, so you're going to use the big clamshell. Okay. So this one, let's get some tape.
Tape is a solution to every problem.
Duct tape.
Yeah.
Here, hold that.
You could use tape.
I probably should have cleaned these off first because they're really dusty, and so like you can see like when I pull the tape off, you see all the dirt on it, and that dirt makes it
harder to stick on.
Yeah, it makes it harder to stick on. Maybe put it like right here. Let's see if that works. And let's put some in the back. you could get your own oysters and scallop shells at a beach if you live near a beach. You could go to, you do live near a beach. What are you talking about?
I guess.
We live on an island.
I mean, right there.
This is what the boating program is about, is kids realizing that they live in New York City, and the waterfront was taken away from them by groups like the EDC, but now the EDC is kind of giving it back. Let's put that on. How does yours look?
Not too bad, actually. I think mine looks better, It's bigger and covers more surface.
Yeah. Yours does look more dynamic. All right.
I feel like what would make this really terrifying is like if you put wheels on it.
It does have wheels on it. What are you talking about?
Like right under here. Like, I don't know, some way we put like 2 motors on it. Something. Just like make it really
2
fast.
wheels.
Just make it fast.
Well, to make it faster, the trick to making it faster is bigger wheels or using gears. But at a point, if it was going up and down too fast, so you
it just fall off.
Yeah, so you want it to go the same speed going up and down, but you want it to move faster as it's going, I think is what maybe you're requesting.
I want it to be so that like if it's like, imagine it's like running at you, like maybe wheeling at you at like at a dark alleyway, like you just came.
Like some creepy.
Yeah, something like that. Something that you'd run away from in a dark alley.
Like Batman.
Yeah.
So if you saw one of these coming at you, you'd be afraid.
If
it was big, if it was a big shell.
If it was like pretty big, then yeah. Actually, yeah, it would be pretty.
Most things that, like, if you take any bug or like a chicken or a bird and you made them like as big as us, it'd be very scary. Here's something interesting. Oysters used to be like this big.
Oh, really?
In the New York Harbor here, but we ate them all. Not us. Like, we ate them all like 200 years ago.
Oh, okay.
300 years ago.
We hunted them.
But you used to just go out into the water and you'd pick out like a big one like this big. And like as big as a football.
Bit, right? Like money-wise, because they're pretty big, they're pretty meaty.
Yeah. There are now a lot of oysters are grown in farms around Long Island now. And there's sea creatures that go around and they find them and they drill a hole into the shell and they eat them and kill them. And they have bounty hunters.
Bounty hunters?
They're divers who they have bounty hunters for catching these things. And so the more these things that eat the oysters, so the more they catch, the more money they get. But then that created this economic system where now these divers would, this is all hypothetical, allegedly, it was a perverse incentive where they wanted more of these oyster-eating creatures in the water so they could catch them. So they would they had an incentive to let them grow and eat the oysters so they can catch them and the bounty would be bigger and there'd be more of them.
Yeah.
Or something like that. This is what I hear from people. Anyway, so we made oyster and clam robots today. We're going to be doing this at PS24 on Monday. Not we. Neither of us are involved in that. But Yadira is going to do it. And Tanasia from the Billion Oyster Project is going to join her and do a presentation on oysters along with the robot for 5th graders at PS24. Thanks for joining me today, Arturo.
Yeah.
Arturo helps me out every Friday. He organizes Legos. And
And he doesn't pay me.
I pay you in vitamin water and chocolate. And you get volunteer hours.
Yeah, I do get volunteer.
I got to email your advisor and let her know the status on those.
How long was the stream?
It was 49 minutes. All right. See you guys later.